tie this back to the creator economy, right? There's a polarity playing out at the moment. Okay. So internationally, here's the unspoken truth, right? When you take fitness, when you take apparel, you take lifestyle beauty brands, direct to consumer brands, right? Across the East, across the West, across emerging markets, across the developed markets, there is a polarity playing out, right? The truth is the factories, the supply chains, the distribution is happening in a lot of the emerging markets, right? But the aspirational aesthetics, the look, the face, the vibes, that sells, right? Those sits in the West, right? So the way it works is, the way to think about it very simply is the cultural gravity flows west to east, right? But the manufacturing flows east to west, right? And that gap, and that's where that tension, that's where the opportunity, that's where the gap lives, that's where the polarity lives, right? That's where the opportunity lives. So let's break it down together. Emerging market brands. All right. So they've got cash. Okay. They've got the supply chains. They can pump out the products at scale. But when it comes to cultural gravity, they're lost. So the briefs that they send out to creators, right, are awkward, right? Their scripts, they feel very AI generated, and the direction doesn't quite translate. Okay. And the result is it makes creators feel like sellouts. It turns creators off, right? Because it doesn't feel like something they can naturally get around, right? It has that cringe kind of it kind of factor, right? Now you flip it around the other way. You take your Gymshark, you got Aloe Yoga, you got Riderwears. They got cultural capital baked in, like it's locked in. That's table stakes, yeah. So they are the aesthetic. So they can snap their fingers and they can have 100 micro creators in matching sets tomorrow. But behind the curtains, the challenge is the problem that's faced, especially with a lot of the developed Western brands, right, direct-to-consumer brands, is it's chaos at the moment, right? And it's going to be even more chaos over the coming weeks, right? Especially as we come into Q4, into Black Friday, right? We got ad fatigue, you got your freelancers burning out, right? Campaigns that just don't scale. So they're drowning in content churn. And if you're a creator, particularly listening right now, this is for you as well, because you've lived that cringe brief, right? You've been handed a brief and you're like, it just feels so off, right? Like your body just feels like it's just fighting itself, right? So you've had to hold products that you'd never actually use, you'd never actually get behind, right? And therefore the authenticity or the lack thereof really just bleeds through the screen, right? Or you've had to hold a product you never actually use, you never actually back, right? You need to recite a line that didn't sound like you at all. And deep down, you knew, right? This isn't elevating me, it's actually cheapening me.